And you might recognize again the shell from when Breach was unbanned. We like it was basically these three of these Mystic Forges were breaches, and three of these Ancient Stirrings were grinding stations. I think it was pretty close to that, like one Mystic Forge and some Ancient Stirrings, and no Ancient Stirrings for breach and grinding station. And I was just kind of looking at this, I'm like, this deck still works, doesn't it? And just like it's kind of similar to the Brood build where you can play Stirrings and Rumble for all of this consistency. But the idea is mostly that you want to just get Mystic Forge in play, and comboing off when you untap with Forge is pretty easy, since you have like 8 Glaring Fleshrakers kind of between Precursor and Fleshraker. And once you get any two of these in play, you get to make so much mana. And this deck feels like a lot like KCI. You are a Grove of the Burnwillows, Mox Opal, Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere, Mishra's Bauble deck that's using a 4-mana artifact to combo off with to win the game with. Although Mystic Forge is more of a card advantage engine and less of a mana engine. It's maybe kind of inverse, where your creatures here are the mana instead of the card advantage, where the creatures in KCI were kind of the card advantage. So I guess inverse KCI to some extent. Okay, so let's keep this 7. I think we're taking a Fleshraker or a Precursor over a Mystic Forge here if we see one, although we just see a Temple. Let me look up my top card. Okay, so a little bit punished for playing the Bauble, but rewarded for looking at our top card. Are we already playing a Mirror? It's kind of crazy if so. I kind of don't know what else this could be, but the Mirror. Yeah, I think that we've been Brood before. Like the Ancient Grudges help a lot. Maybe we should be playing the 4th Ancient Grudge. I guess we can Rumble first and see if we find like a Matter Reshaper. Or sorry, I keep calling Glaring Fleshraker Matter Reshaper. Very unfair to that card. Running into the Mirror is pretty crazy. Okay, we definitely want both of these. Doesn't matter too much which order we put them on top. Yeah, it looks like we're playing the Mirror. We just trophied with the stack. People seem to be kind of hyped for it. I'm pretty excited for it. I really wanted to save this deck for Tuesday, but I just didn't have another good backup deck for between rounds of the challenge. I also really wanted to play the Phoenix deck. They chose Precursor, so we should get them here. I just feel like this deck's a bit of a breakout deck. It's a bit early to say that potentially, but I'm kind of feeling that way. Time will tell, but there's a good chance we'll spend some time on this deck tomorrow anyways. Especially if we end up wanting to make some big changes. We do have enough to cast this Mystic Forge, although will we want to cast this Precursor first instead? We don't have anything else to sack. I guess maybe I should have cast the Opal, huh? Let's just cast the Forge. We are floating in Eldrazi mana, so we can cast the Precursor. So when we sack this, we get extra spawn tokens. So I can go Mox Opal, cast the Precursor with 2 spawns floating, then get another spawn, then sack the Bauble, then cast the K command. And then the K command by itself is lethal. Yeah, I like the Temur Omni control deck. I would definitely recommend it. The Big Tested Titan, Tron was already favored against the field. Tron was already... I mean, you're comparing this deck to Tron. I feel like it plays pretty differently. You know, we have turn 3 kills, but they have a lot of Besejus, so I think we're pretty unfavored against Titan. Titan. I wouldn't even say the big filter is Titan. Titan is the best deck in Modern. There are ways you can beat it by being like very linear combo decks that are more fragile, like Storm or Neoform, or you could be like a subtlety deck, counterspell deck, like those. That's the formula to beat Titan, or you could be like Mill, Blood Moon deck. But like I don't think we need to understand that that's the formula to beat Titan. And that Titan is going to continue to be the best deck in Modern for the foreseeable future, probably. So in the mirror, we want to bring in the Nature's Claims. We want to bring in the Haywire Mites. We want to bring in the Dismember. Usually when I bring in this many colored cards, I like to cut the Stirrings, which not so much because the Stirrings brick, but more so because you want the Mystic Forges to be better. The Locket was really good. It's not a symmetrical effect. Yeah, I'm happy enough with Modern at the moment. I just, I do think it could be better. Super hot with a 21 months. Should I run Goryo's or Esper Blink? In my opinion, Goryo's is just Esper Blink, but good. Or better, maybe. It's like, it is a little bit weird to me that Blink seems to be resurfacing, but the decks play so similarly, but you get to play Force of Negation and like a really busted combo in addition to most of the Blink synergies. You could even play Feldia Overlord and Goryo's, which we've done and liked. I think there's a chance that version could be a little bit underrepresented. So let's play the Sphere and then hold these because we could draw an Eldrazi Temple, but if we don't, we're going to play both of these, then the Fleshraker next turn and try to go for the turn 3 win. Thump Dog with the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. You might have Dismember available. So if I go Rumble this turn, I'll have a spawn, and then I can go Fleshraker, Mountain, Opal Bauble. Then yeah, I can go off next turn. Which I don't know if I should take a damage or gain that. I'm just gonna gain them a life and be nice. Let's take the Bauble. But I think that there's a good enough chance my opponent's holding up Dismember that I want to try to maybe let them tap out next turn if they have like their own Fleshraker or Precursor, and then and if they don't have Dismember, I think we're really likely to kill them anyways. So not the worst place to be. Top with 3 months, Immigrant, 26 months, fuck ice, indeed. Cast a Mystic Forge. Say no to Urza Saga. Do I want to cast a K command, X equals 0 to filter? I think instead I'd like to probably just draw the K command and cast it for maybe a little bit more later. Although here's another one. I'm running low on action. If I don't cast it here, then I'm not going to be able to. I'm not gonna be able to cast something else or continue to move through the deck. Since I'll have a green floating, I can't cast the K command from my hand. Like I could cast. Oh no, I'm one short. Okay, but here's a star so I can cast the Rumble now. And there's a Glaring Fleshraker, so let's go. Oh, sorry, this is mana neutral, not mana positive, with only one Fleshraker. Oh, but they concede. Okay, they were not dead. Or not necessarily dead. They might have lost. Maybe their hand was pretty bad. Yeah, we're playing the mirror. We trophied our first league with the deck. People really, I think, I've been excited about this one today. I'm excited about it too. I'm definitely interested in playing some more of it this week. The deck feels like a little bit of a breakout to me. We're definitely at that time in like the modern cycle where breakouts are a little bit fewer and further between anyways. Ergonomic with 40 months. I'm a bit behind. It's good to see you in the chat. It was good hanging this weekend. No pressure. I think I'm gonna lead on the Saga here. What changed from the previous iteration? So the previous iteration was playing Underworld Breach. So I kind of was under the impression that the deck was not very functional with with Underworld Breach being banned. But now Breach is banned, and so like in some ways this deck got better because you're no longer competing with the existence of Underworld Breach, if that makes sense. I guess I'll take the Locket. So you're no longer competing with Breach in the metagame, which is kind of good. And then it honestly doesn't really even feel that different. Like we're really in a Mystic. Like it was kind of like the easiest swap to update a deck I've done in a while, because I just realized I can cut the Breaches and the grinding stations for Mystic Forges and Ancient Stirring. And the Mystic Forges have felt so good so far. And then Dalton never misses with the 76. Let's go. Alright, opponent flips a Chromatic Sphere, card I would have liked to draw. You think you might win any Cavern? It's really tough that Cavern doesn't cast Stirrings or Rumble. Usually if I'm playing both of those, I don't like to play Cavern. It's possible that it's fine, because you have all the stars, but it's also kind of difficult to account, or to figure out exactly how much that accounts for, maybe not. Okay, so let's go Fleshraker into Opal, and do I cast the Locket now? It seems like there's not a lot of upside to casting the Locket now. The big upside maybe is I get to not lose the spawn. But I can also go... I'll just cast it now. I think there's a kind of a reasonable chance they would flage the spawn here. Does this deck want the green Curiosity to go with Fleshraker? This deck is already really good at killing when you have Fleshraker in play, and the deck I don't think you want to try to make the Fleshrakers more fragile, if that makes sense. I did think about it. I have like that in the past. They hit another Chromatic Sphere. Like another time it would have been good for us. Then they played a Johnny and they pass with the mana available. Then they've got to stop at our draw step. Then they let us take our turn. Let's go cast a 2-mana Fleshraker, thanks to Locket of Yesterdays. Play a Mishra's Bauble. And it looks like they have another discharge. So definitely going to be a tougher game. Did we mulligan this game? I think we did. Should be fine to crack this now. Get our spawn token. They got a Sacred Foundry on top over there, so that might unlock a 3-mana spell that was stuck in their hand. This is not 0 mana. They do play Flage probably. So if we top deck like a Mystic Forge or K Command, we're going to be doing okay. Otherwise, we're going to have a tough one here. This is going to be 5. They hit a K Command. Ragavan has hit a really good card every single time. They play a Pride. They do get to gain the life, or to trigger the Pride. Big money. Let's go gambling. Game 2. So down a game against Boros. Let's bring in the Dismember. Let's bring in at least the first Needle, if not more than that. Or Bombardment. Slash Johnny. Probably just do 1. And then I think a Haywire Mite could be good too for Moon and Bombardment and Static Prison. Then I think we'll go down like 2 Stirrings in a Sphere. I guess maybe you always cut Bauble instead because of the Locket making these better. Did you try a Mirror Retriever combo plus Fleshraker? I'm sure I have at some point. Like, I guess like when you're infinitely looping Mirror Retrievers, like your actual win condition isn't, it doesn't matter that much. But we have done that in the Anviltron deck, and I didn't end up liking it. All right, on to play. Any consideration chumping Ragavan? I think it's a little bit of hindsight bias to chump the Ragavan in those spots where. Like, the reason to chump Ragavan would be because we don't want Ragavan to hit the cards it hit, rather than we care about trading the spawn for 2 damage and the treasure. I think we cared more about having the mana so our K commands and Mystic Forges were better top decks, Mystic Forge especially. How many Conquerors Boros on? I'm not sure. We have the Dismember and the K commands, so it's not like we're super duper weak to them. So I do think I'm going to lead on the Sphere since I've got these precursors in play or in hand. I want to be able to sack them and make mana. Yeah, this deck has been sick. We trophied with it already once today. Kind of telling that this late into Spider-Man, we're not on Spider-Man brews compared to how long EOA kept shooting out new ideas. Yeah, Spider-Man was always going to be more of a narrow set, I think. Okay, so I could go Precursor, play land, 2 mana. I think I'm just one short of Precursor into Forge here. Although I can't cast the... No, I can't cast the Forge. Hold on. I feel like I'm missing something. So I can go... This costs 2, the Precursor. Then I can... Oh, I'm just not going to have Metalcraft. Yeah, but I am going to have 3 mana after I sack the Sphere. Because I forgot about the floating mana from the Sphere. The problem is I'm not going to have the Metalcraft. So I do have a good amount of draws off the Sphere that allow me to keep going. Versus if I just cast the Mystic Forge, I'm not that likely to do much anyways. Interesting. This could trigger the Precursors next turn. Just passing for now. Ta-ta for now. Opponent's got 5 cards in their hand after they take their draw step. Definitely nice to be playing an artifact-based combo deck that doesn't care that much about Wrath the Skies too. There are a couple more Spider-Man cards I'm trying to figure out. Gwynnum specifically has been a card that like certainly seems like there's something there, and then I am having like the hardest time building the deck with it. That happens sometimes. I'm going to leave up the Haywire Mite sack and then pass back here. I saw a post earlier, next year's Standard will have more legal cards than Modern did on release, huh? I guess that was inevitable, huh? What about the Elemental card? Sandman? You have to be a little bit more specific, maybe. Sandman. Give me a dream. I actually don't know the lines. I don't know. So Sandman can be good if like Risen Reef Nissa is good, and I think Risen Reef Nissa is specifically not very good because it's all been like replaced by like Riddler Ephemerate for the most part. So it's possible that something changes, but it was always just kind of a Nissa Risen Reef thing, and Risen Reef Nissa is not good anymore. Maybe it was never that good, but it was just always like a piece of that toolbox more than anything else. All right, definitely go for the scry draw here. I think I'm going to leave one of these open. It might be right to just go more all in, but I think it's okay. The Rumble in hand especially. So bottom. Top. Okay, so now we have the star to filter the extra color. So maybe I can even tap the opal. So like it's like a little greedy. But I really want to find another Fleshraker or a Precursor. Getting the second one in play just lets you make so much mana. Although I guess Precursor is actually the reason to not tap the opal, huh? Because that'll make the star actually able to go bigger on the mana. You want to save the bauble also for Precursor. There's Glaring Fleshraker, and then 2 cards we don't want, so obviously take this, and then Locket is really fun. I don't have a Fleshraker in the yard, so we'll just cast this first, and then cast the Locket. And I think we're going to go ahead and tap this, and there's another Karplusan Forest underneath the Karplusan Forest. Who put that there? And going to make a green, make a spawn off the Precursor. See what's underneath the forest. A Dark Ritual, plus 2 mana. We also have our land drop still available. I guess a star is probably better than a Precursor because it's going to help us brick less. Usually the third creature is a lot less necessary than the first two. This costs 0 because we have the Locket of Yesterdays in play. And then see what's underneath the Saga. Opponent's down to 14. This was 0 mana. This is, right, I guess 0 mana is not right. It's basically +2 mana draw a card. Now we do have the Mystic Forge that can clear. I guess it's probably a good time to cast this Mystic Forge. Since if we see a Stirrings or we see a Rumble on top, we want to draw that off the sphere instead of tapping the Mystic Forge. And since we have plenty of mana but we're light on library clearers, like exactly like this is why you'd want to play the Mystic Forge instead. And then I think we just, again, have enough mana that we can kind of comfortably play second Forge before we Rumble. Because really the only way we're going to lose this game is if we hit a glump of too many lands, although I think we've gone through so many lands that seems less than likely. Okay, we can't draw that because we don't have any stars or spheres, so I guess we'll Forge. And then the second Fleshraker always kills really quick. And then, what should we name off of our Pithing Needle? We could name a pizza from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Were it legal. Oh wait, I think there's. Oh, they're not dead before it enters. A little chat, and that's in reference to you at home, my dear chatters. Oh, we could have named Fleam. I feel like You Are Already Dead is, you know, it's had its time in the sun. We could do better. Deep Dish Pizza, yeah. No, that's a card name. I actually don't know what a little chat is either. I haven't seen that card. I don't get the joke with suspend. I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe there is no joke. You don't have to name a 4-bat legal card on Magic Online, and paper you do. So on the draw for game 3, I do like that sometimes K command on 0 is okay against Boros on the draw if they're on a Johnny. If we draw an artifact, we can K command on 1 on turn 2, or if we draw a Temple. Alright, so I think with this we do want to lead on the Bauble and crack it. I mean, it's obviously a little weird with the it's a little weird with the losing the Metalcraft, but I think finding a Temple, finding a Rumble are all really good, and then maybe the Saga will single-handedly give us Metalcraft, especially if we go like K command the Ajani token, draw a card next turn. Galvanic Discharge, great card to know about. Thank you, Mishra's Bauble. Have I tried New York pizza? No, I have never tried New York pizza. I liked Chicago when I had Chicago pizza. I haven't had pizza in so long. I've been on this health kick all year. Name clue token. You can't name tokens, that's true. That's or illegal. Very common paper play. Yeah, the lockets look pretty good so far. Better than I thought it would be. Okay, well, I think I'm very interested in playing around Thraben Charm. Seems so likely to have it here. Huge truck. Let's go. Opponent might have like a Clarion Conqueror next turn. They graveyarded a Johnny. Oh, Cheering Crowd's pretty good. I think I'm just gonna cycle this. Alright, that paid off, I guess. Am I gonna dismember the Charmaw? I do want to continue to play around Disenchant on the Saga if I can. Very weird game. Do we think our opponent could have Clarion Conqueror? I think they could. I do have a K command in my hand. I'm just gonna go ahead, I think, and fire this off, although I might have a hard time K-commanding the Conqueror, admittedly, if it comes down. If you want pizza with limited calories, cauliflower cost pizza 700 calories, 20 grams protein. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I try to have my meals be around 800 calories. I do like 2 800-calorie meals a day plus 3 protein shakes. It's about 2,200 a day. Okay, so we know our opponent has a Galvanic Discharge, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and exile the Flames, draw a card. Again, I feel very strongly that they're very likely to have a Thraben Charm. So that's my reason for still holding the Saga, because I'd like to play the Mystic Forge next turn if I can. Let's keep that. Very odd game here. My opponent's hand is Discharge, and then 4 mystery cards after they draw. Likely one of them is a Thraben Charm. They play Arena of Glory. Flage is gone, though. However, they have a Goblin Bombardment to play. Likely no other threats. So let me cast this Urza Saga and see if they kill it in response to the trigger. Which they do. So I think the Fleshraker, we just got to trade it here. We get a token. The next turn we can cast the Mystic Forge. Unless the token dies, I guess. They've got 1 card in their hand, drawing up to 2. Obviously, dangerous draws exist with the Bombardment in play, especially. I think we did a good job navigating this game. I think we did a good job playing around this Thraben Charm. Opponent, yet another Boros player punished for not playing the 3rd Surveil. Yeah, I think we just play the Forge. I don't think we're supposed to go like Star, Opal, Opal. That doesn't make any sense. I could maybe keep this on top. That could have been honestly just better to like wait to tap this, and if they have a wear tear, we could target this, or we could keep the other Forge on top. But we're here now. Could have another Thraben Charm as the 1 mystery card. They've drawn an Ocelot Pride, so another Thraben Charm definitely on the table. I think why don't we just go ahead and see if they have Thraben Charm, just like kind of bait it out here. Okay. Now let's go cast Sphere. Draw. Usually want to draw the Rumbles if you can. Get ready to rumble off this one. Then there's a Precursor, which I think we got to take. It's really nice actually that this is a 3/3, so it doesn't die to a Thraben Charm damage mode. And then if I had a Bauble, I can really go off. They didn't have the wear tear, so I think I would just go ahead and tap this actually. Maybe I should have tapped it earlier. Okay, your turn. I guess if they do have Thraben Charm and I block, they can kill it, but they can kill it anyways if they have Thraben Charm. Oh, it's another Discharge. I guess that makes about as much sense as another Thraben Charm did. So big top deck for them again, but we're doing pretty good against most of their draws, I would imagine. Especially Arid Mesa. And I would love to get the Locket and have a 1-mana Rumble and a 0-mana Star. Their Bombardment can kill like the first creature I play. I'm okay with them sacking their whole board to kill my Precursor, so let's just go ahead and I guess let's actually leave the other Grove up, since I'd rather just not be taking any damage here. So underneath this is a Glaring Fleshraker. Let's go ahead and cast this Star, and then the Opal will be online. Do you want the second Forge more with the Eldrazi in play? I just don't think we have time to draw and cast it. Mark tier 1 for 3 months in advance. Rar, sub a dub dub. Let's go. I was watching Mono White deck with Apex Marvel, trying to figure out one other card besides Emeria's Call. The new Elspeth does doubling tokens or flying for total works like 2 copies. I mean, the card just kind of sucks to draw. You know, if you want a big win the game card that's white, you could play Moonshaker Cavalry, although new Elspeth is more castable for sure. So it seems like our opponent here is thinking about cashing in their entire board to kill my Precursor, which that might end up being a good move. Was there any upside to casting Prospector before Star? Precursor before Star? Yeah, the upside of being able to sack it if they sack the board, but there's also the upside of casting different stuff underneath the Forge. And I think we got to be pretty happy that they're taking this line. since you have the Fleshraker on top, which did like they could have kept the Pride if that's what they had saved it for. So I think I'm just going to cash in the Opal to cast the Fleshraker, since this is the thing that could possibly let me win the game this turn. Although I'd have to hit a 0, and then we don't. There's another Rumble underneath the Rumble. Another big turn for top decks for them. Yeah, it was, Mira and the Moaning Well came up for the Ice Steel Brood Scale deck. Definitely more of a paper card than a Magic Online card, since Infinite Life on Magic Online isn't actually infinite. All right, let's draw that. Could have maybe cast a K command from the top, so you don't want to just totally turn your brain off here. But I'll get the Locket. I'll get the Locket. How much is this to cast? 1 mana to cast. Wait, was that 2? It was 2. Never mind. So I should have tapped another colorless maybe. Although I guess all my colorless also tap for green. My Rumbles will cost 1 mana. Yeah, I think the Locket's been a good addition to the deck. I think it doesn't make sense really to play more than this one copy probably. You can just get it pretty often, and you don't need it that often, or you don't need it all the time. Inoshi, 10 months, another month of brews, always worth another month sub. Hell yeah. Nice. 2-0 this league. We already trophied a league today. Again, definitely down to give this deck a little bit more attention than we usually would this week. I've also got the wedding coming up. Can you see the deck list? You can always come into the deck and type, or the stream and type !deck to get the current deck list, thanks to our wonderful sponsor field, Mox Field. You can also, if there's any card that that you want to see in action or curious if I brewed with, you can type it in the chat or in the Mox Field and see if I have played it recently or at all. Dingo's not the best man, but he is coming to stay. He's coming to stay at the house for, I guess, an extended sleepover. Effectively, the week before the wedding. Since he's gonna be here in Dallas, or not Dallas, but just Texas anyways for the RC. Wow, Warping Whale. A really good Warping Whale too. Alright, so we get Karned here. What are the considerations between the Brood Scale and Precursor build? I don't know. Both seem to be really good. We've trophied with both of them. It's a little early for me to give you exactly all the pros and the cons, and it's always very difficult to do that anyways when you're just winning with both. But I'm definitely interested to explore a little bit deeper. It would be nice to hit a mana source. I tell you what. Or the 6 bad matchups. I think Titan and Neoform seem to be 2 pretty tough ones, but that's kind of always the case with the formula is faster combo deck with a bunch of disenchants. Oh, I guess we should have cast the Opal. Although saving it for Fleshraker might have been better. I think let's just keep it moving here probably. Keep it moving. It might have been better to hold it for the Fleshraker. All right, so we're gonna bring in the first Needle for Karn. The first Haywire Mite for lock pieces. Maybe the second also. And go down like a Stirring's 2 baubles. 32's way is nice. Very cool. It should be fun. It's just going to be a big day. I don't know. I'm a little worried there's going to be some drama. But I'm not nervous about the wedding, the marriage part of the wedding. Oh, and apparently me and Esther both need to go to get the application. One claim as Karn Lock Mite. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, if they're gonna Karn, I think that you're kind of screwed to some extent, but I find that the best plan for Karn is if we're not playing, and maybe we just should be playing Thief of Existences in the sideboard. If you're not playing Thief of Existence, I think the goal is to like needle and attack it. That has been I think about all you can do even. But maybe we should just have some Thieves in the sideboard. Weren't I trying to get Minguchi or someone to officiate? Yeah, Reed Duke is officiating the wedding. And Gab is giving me away. All right, so discards or exiles 2 maps in a lab. Goes Lab of Mindstone. Okay, I think I'm actually playing the Fleshraker so I can attack a Karn. And with that minus, has a Thought-Knot Seer, so I guess we get pretty punished. I was thinking one more Ox or a 4th Chill. You should never, ever, ever, ever consider cutting the 4th Chill. It's a burn deck. Okay, well, thank you, Thoughtseize Bug. Oh, I attacked my 3/3 into the 4/4. That is menace. I think of the deck rolling. I have to erase my brain again. Yeah, like the Phoenix, it is a burn deck. The Phoenix Dredge deck is a burn deck. It's not like this slower, weird, grindy deck that you might be used to playing when you play Dredge. It is like primarily a burn deck. Thoughtseize Bug is confirmation bias, so when your opponent takes a card from your hand and then you draw the same card that they took, you go Thoughtseize Bug, and you kind of pretend like Magic Online as a bug, but really it's just confirmation bias. You notice it when it happens, and then you don't notice it when it doesn't. All right, let's keep it moving, I guess. Does Esther know all these Magic people? Yeah, Esther and Reed, they have like a book club that they partake in. No, the only Magic people that are coming are Dingo Doom and Honorog. Everyone else is a little bit too out of town to have made the voyage over. Even those 3, it's like they live hundreds and hundreds of miles away. And Esther does know all of them, yeah. Monkey? Like I gotta take this bauble so that the Opal is online, and obviously I can do some stuff with either of these. Not gonna block the Ragavan. Did just beat Boros. They flip an Urza Saga, which would have been a good draw. See what their turn 2 play is. I guess we might want to sack Spawn in response to a Flays trigger. Seems like they thought about sacking to kill this. Okay, so I can go Fleshraker, Opal, Bauble, have 3 mana, cast Precursor, sack Bauble, sack Star. Seems fine. I guess it's not as fine if my opponent has a discharge though. So I guess I could should I K command instead of Yeah, I think I should K command instead of Precursor. Although I'm not 100% sure. Playing the Precursor this turn also kind of checks the Ragavan and allows me to get value off the Bauble. Like I don't know. I could still hold the Bauble, but it seems like it's usually going to be better to it seems like it's usually going to be better to save the Bauble for the sack the Bauble for the card than save it for the Precursor. But let's not worry too much about that for now. Just scry, draw, exile the Ragavan, make another spawn. Well, I guess the spawn is going to die to the bombardment. Not really anything we can do about that. I guess holding this also keeps the Opal online. Okay, definitely keeping that. Okay, they pawn. Shout out to all of the Boros Synergy players playing the deck working from home. They're going to have another play if they fetch planes. Is it a Johnny? It's a Johnny, it's not so good. So they're going to kill, I imagine, my spawn and my Fleshraker here. I don't really have a window to K-command the Johnny, of course. I could have K-commanded, I could have played around a Johnny by making a spawn. No, sorry. 2 mana is not K-command for 2. See, they'll get it. They'll get it. You can do it. Boros player at work. So we want to draw a land so we can just play the Mystic Forge without letting the Ajani kind of really kill my guy. Nice. Maybe sometimes you can get what you want instead of what you need. You know Doom from streaming? I know Doom from streaming, but we've been friends for like at least 5 years now. Yeah, so I've got I have a table of like all of my Magic friends from local coming to the wedding, and then I've got a table of some other Magic friends who don't know those Magic friends, plus the out of town Magic people. Well, I would have liked to have had this Fleshraker, but fine. I'm gonna save this for the precursor man, I think. Just dead. Oh, yeah. Okay, game two. Yeah, all of chat's advice lost in the mail. Too late to readjust the seating chart. I'm sorry. I think I liked this sideboard plan last time. Just a Dismember, a Needle, and a Mite over a Stirrings and 2 Baubles. Yeah, LCQ into the invites. Yeah, if y'all had won the trophy race, could have got an invite. Don't think any deck beats the start. I just need a turn 3 Titan win. Yeah, we're gonna go live for a very short Abyssal ad read mid vows, followed by a wedding subathon. Don't tell Reed I didn't tell him about that part of the whole ceremony. Is Locket of Yesterdays just for value? Well, I would call this a ramp card, a mana generating card instead of a value card. But yeah, it's a one of Urza Saga 2 to target that you can grab when it's gonna make mana for you, and it's pretty regularly been making like 4 mana on your combo turns, which is I think worth a one of Saga target. It's definitely felt good enough to include. QR code on every table, yeah. A little green mini and every as a wedding favor to every guest who leaves. When is the wedding? Wedding is next Sunday. So tentative schedule is this week is normal. I might be taking Friday the 24th off, depending on how many wedding preparations need to be done. I'm not really expecting to have things to do that day that I couldn't do on Saturday, but I might. So, but probably this full week normal, up to the 24th normal. Then the wedding is on the 26th, and then Esther and I depart for the honeymoon in Japan on the 28th. I am so excited.
You also might have to be late one of these days. We have to go. You might be late one of these days.
Yeah, I texted you back.
Okay.
But I think, I mean, if we get the appointment for 8, I could probably be on time for the stream. I might be a little late.
Might be a little late.
We have to get the wedding license, so I might be late for a stream on one of these days. But okay, I'm gonna try to be here Monday post wedding. I'm gonna try to be here Monday post wedding. But I might not be. I don't. It just kind of depends on how sleepy I am. And then the 28th through the 12th, you can expect no streams until we get back on the 13th, with the possible exception of I might do a live BNR react depending on what it's looking like. If there's a big BNR, I might do like a 1 hour just chatting stream because the announcement is then. Mark with the $50 wedding present. Let's go. Thank you so much, Mark. That's very sweet of you. I'm very excited. It's a long time coming. You know, me and Nestor made the decision to buy this house and get things started financially before getting the wedding started, which I would recommend to y'all. I have felt really good about that decision. I play the Fleshraker. I think it's not good too, so it's not actually. Be tough to win against the bombardment though, without finding like a needle or a mite. So yeah, I'm very happy. It feels like we've been married for many years at this point. Which also I feel like that's just got to be like I think it should feel that way. Hot butter with 11 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Are you ready for the tester license? Wait, did they married shatters, all 3 of you? Is there? Do they ask you questions? They probably do. How did we first meet? We met on a dating app. Pretty normal. It was World of Warcraft players who. What was the app called? It was called Seeking Guildmates. So I'm just like annoyingly let's see what we draw off the sphere. I'm annoyingly 1 mana short of going Fleshraker into Mystic Forge. Also kind of an annoying draw. I do kind of because their board is so good. I kind of think maybe I can get them to like sack 2 things to kill the Fleshraker, which I don't think it's getting a lot better than that. You know what I mean? Okay, interesting. So, yeah, we can cast the Mystic Forge, right? Assuming they don't sack and kill the Precursor here. Not a bad turn 4 through all this MH3 nonsense. I guess we have our own MH3 nonsense here. I did think that they would sack both guides to kill the Fleshraker. I do think we need to try to keep going. I'm going to tap to get rid of this. And we don't have Metalcraft right now. Nor will we. Last turn. I'm not funny or good looking. I'll never get married. I mean, sincerely, these are things you can improve about yourself. You know, you can get a good shape. You can get different style. You can get a different haircut. Could go a long way. Shaving that thin hair can go a long way. You know, your personality is also something you can work on. You might think it isn't, but you can change for the better. And I think everyone should be in the process of trying to change for the better, no matter what stage they are in life. And sometimes a fulfilling relationship is a side effect of becoming a better person rather than the stated goal. Now, am I dead to Goblin Bombardment? So they can double jump the guides. So that's going to be 4/7 damage in the air plus 5. So I think that's only 12. I have lots of Pokemon cards. Okay, well you don't need anything else than that. Spike about to hop the fence on that view. On the self-improvement view? I don't know. It's kind of like my motto. I don't know, my life mission statement. Just always try to be better every day. That's kind of like how the whole stream has always been structured. And I don't know. I'd like to think I'd still be exercising and working on the game and working on the stream and writing this novel, marriage or not, you know. Hey, Doc. People view relationships as avenue for happiness. You can get that from self-improvement too. Yeah, and also like your relationships are going to be the most fulfilling if you have put that work in on yourself too. Not that it's very relevant here, but if your Urza Saga does trigger the precursor on chapter 3. All right, looks like we're Blood Moon is like the only card they could be tapping this mana for that we don't die to. I guess Wrath the Skies we don't die to either. Wear Tear. Okay, Wear Tear. We don't die to. So I'm gonna kill my Fleshraker. Ouch, ouch, my flesh. Yeah, Esther is a pro Mewer. Am I really one short of Fleshraker into Forge? Seem like I am, so I guess we have to cast the Forge. Alright, get rid of that. A little late Pithing Needle. I think unless we have like a weird chain of Mishra's Baubles, we're still dead. Okay, 1-1 against Boros, trophied earlier. I think I do still want to play some more of this deck this week. This deck I think is a nice breakout. I probably try the Fecundity build off stream, see how that goes. Get some other stuff ready for tomorrow. But I'm very hungry. I'm gonna go eat some lunch and then be back tomorrow. Feels like a good stopping point for today. After I've given